Mo, my guy, thank you for coming on the huddle, man. It's been a long time. We've been talking about it, but you're here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you asking me. Come
Now, the friendship is off the line right here. We're going to keep it a buck.
Cool. I'm ready.
All right, Mo, so you're a product of Capitol Heights. What does that mean to you? And as you explain that, also walk us through, for people that don't know you, your childhood.
So being a product of the area, man, it means a lot. I know what a lot of these kids going through. I can relate to a lot of the kids, probably all of them, in some way, shape, or form. And when I look at these kids, I see myself. You know, I mean, we're in Capitol Heights where, you know, everybody not struggling, but I mean, everybody also don't just have it, like you know, and I know sometimes it could definitely get rough, and it has gotten rough for a lot of the guys and a lot of the young ladies that I do work with, and even the parents. But it's always cool to kind of have experienced whatever life they're going through, because it gives you that one, you become like a sounding board to them, but then two, it's not like I'm looking at them any different, because their situation either is my situation or used to be my situation, or who knows, it might become my situation. So looking at it like that, I definitely think it has helped both parties, but it means a lot to be from this area and help out in this area.
Now, you talked about situations, and let's talk about yours coming up. You grew up with 5 brothers, and your father was not in your life. So talk about that situation. How did it help you become the man you are today?
So being in a household, growing up with 5 brothers, single mom, father being killed at the age of 3, I never got the relationship with my dad. I've never even had a conversation with him. That's one thing. Even to this day, I still think about. I still think about it to this day. Like I talk to some of the kids that I work with, and you know, sometimes like the relationship that they might have, or they might get upset with their dads or whatever it may be. I just let them know, like, you know, cherish those moments, cherish those arguments, cherish those conversations. You know, cherish everything you have with your loved ones, because when you're talking to somebody like myself who no longer can turn and have a conversation or call or text or whatever it may be, it's different, and it does affect you in a way. You know, growing up, I definitely wish I did have them, but then I don't question God. You know, I don't question God, and I think everything that's ever happened in my life, I think it's happened for a reason, and because of that, I look at life in a different light. I think I look at situations in a different light. I look at the position that I'm in. Yeah, I'm a trainer, you know, but I'm also a coach. You know, I'm also a mentor. I'm also a big cousin, big brother to a lot of these guys. So I don't take that for granted, because I know what it was like with me growing up. Thank goodness I found sports, and I was able to, you know, connect with like coaches. I have an uncle that I'm close with. I mean, very close with. I mean, he's like a father figure to me. So it definitely helps in mentoring these kids.
So being in the house with 5 brothers, single mom, when did you decide, okay, I have a passion for football? Who introduced you to sports?
Now it's funny you're asking me that. So I used to I grew up watching wrestling, like WWF. I guess now it's called WWE, whatever it is. Like, you couldn't tell me growing up that WWF wasn't real. So my mom, my brothers, they would always make fun of me because they used to be like, "Hey, it's not real." But I just thought it was. I thought it was so real. Like on a Saturday night, you'll catch me with like somebody teddy bear or somebody, I don't know, a pillow or whatever, and I'm acting like I'm wrestling with, you know, whatever. So I would even be at football fields, and I would be standing on top of the gate, and I'd be like, I'm jumping off the gate, and I would like elbow drop on one of the kids. Like, so I just always thought like it was like, just thought it was real. But as far as like the game of football, football, basketball. I think it was more so of my competitive drive. And I would say my brother Charles. I was around my brother Charles like so much where I've always looked up to him, and I've always compared myself to him in a way where I just felt like, one day if I could ever beat him, or if I could ever be a challenge to him, then I think I'm ready to go for anybody else. Um, and big brothers do what big brothers do. Like they always keep you humble. Even when you think you have arrived, they find a way to let you know like you still a little brother.
Right.
So um, even to this day, like we still joke about different things, or he still call me little dog, and he the big dog, whatever it may be. So it's always been like competitive, especially in my household. You think about a household full of boys and just one mom, and of course, like you know, she just didn't like when we fought, but we always fought over anything. Everything was always a competition. So whether you tied your shoes, who tied their shoes fast. Sometimes you was in competition, you ain't even know you was in a competition. Who could iron their shirt, who could brush their teeth faster. I mean, it was always competitive in our household. But I would say Charles was the one that made me really, really push to be good in sports.
All right, so coming up, you played both sports, football, basketball, a lot of other things. But in this area, Pop Warner football is very, on the top level. So you played with Peppermill, and then you went to Central. Talk about the transition from Peppermill, some of your coaches, and also your experience at Central.
Like I said, God doesn't make mistakes. I'm a firm believer in that. And when I look at my career in sports, it's been crazy. So at Peppermill, I came in at 85 where I played offensive guard, right? Played right offensive guard. And I just never felt like the coach gave me a chance to play running back. So by the end of the year, he put me at running back and he put all the star players on defense in practice. And he gave me the ball 3 times. And I was at the running back, and everybody knew I was getting the ball. All 3 times I scored. So when I came back, at this point, I'm a little, well, not cocky, but it was like one of those. So I tossed him the ball. So when I tossed him the ball after the third one, he was like, all right, just get back at guard. So the following year, I go to fullback and I go to middle linebacker. So at fullback, I'm blocking, but then at times I'm running the ball, getting rewarded, making plays that way. Then my last year, I played tight end and played middle linebacker. And at tight end, I was able to, run routes, catch the ball. Linebacker, I'm, shedding blockers, making tackles and things like that. So in my Peppermill career, I think I pretty much learned how to do pretty much every single thing. Like I learned how to block from out of my stance. I knew how to block from space, being a fullback. As a tight end, I was able to do both. I was able to run routes. I was able to catch the ball. I had already ran the ball at fullback. At linebacker, you became like the quarterback on defense, shedding blocks, making tackles, so you had to read offenses and things like that. So overall, I just felt like Peppermill prepared me for high school. I had a coach at Peppermill from when I first started up until, even to this day, I still call him coach. It's called Coach Tony. So I remember I used to get upset at practice and things like that. He used to always tell me, like, just don't ever quit. Don't ever stop doing what you're doing because it's something you love. And to this day, I'm still doing something that I love. I mean, have I had bad times? Yeah. Have I had, difficult, have I gone through difficult situations? I have, but I remember those words and I still go through it. I still think about it. I still can see myself looking up at Coach Tony because I was short at that time. Well, I'm a little tall now, but I remember looking up to him. And I remember looking at his face, and I remember him telling me, like, it's something you love. Don't ever quit. You continue to push through. So I go to Central, and the main reason I go to Central is because Central wasn't that good. That's what everybody told me. Hey, Central not that good, blah blah. So to me, it was a challenge. Like it was like, do I go to the Mather that's already been winning, or do I go to Central? That's a challenge. So that was a challenge within myself. I said, I want to go to Central. I want to turn it around. Plus, all my best friends were going to Central. So I said, man, like I wanna be around them and and win. Well, every year at Central I had to win the season. So it kind of like that kind of turned the corner. Being at Central, you had Coach Frazier. When I first started out, no nonsense guy. You know what I mean? So it was just cool. Like, and I had different head coaches over times at Central. In football, and then in basketball, you had Coach Fulton, and then you had Coach Massenberg, who everybody know. Uh, Still call them guys coach to this day. Every coach that I've ever had, I still call them coach to this day. Still got respect for them, still love them. But that kind of, at that point, being at Peppermill and being at Central, me being a minority, in this world, I was actually a part of the majority in the PG County, if that makes sense. So after leaving Central High School, I went to Wyoming Seminary. Wyoming Seminary is a preparatory school, prep you for college. Well, at this school, you get the prime minister of this place or whatever, his daughter or the son goes there. So it's a wealthy school. But at that point, that's when I realized I am really a minority in this world. Because the whole time I've been a part of the majority. So you start realizing and you start saying like, dang, they never taught us this, they never taught us that. Like, you start realizing, hey, there's some things that I should have learned in my 12 years of high school that I didn't. So it's like now I'm at this prep school where these people have had or been on pace to excel in this world. And that's when I felt like, dang, I felt disappointed. I felt like, geez, like I've been cheated. But then too, I felt like it was a challenge. I felt like, hey, there's times where it's like, dang, I can see where somebody would give up. I can see where somebody would say, man, it's time for me to go home. Like, you start saying when guys are getting Benzes just for getting their license, like that was a gift. Like, where to us, it was like getting your license, that was like the gift within itself. Like, you passed the test. And I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. Finding a car to get to test in was like the goal. Like, I mean, you struggle, because you had to call people, you had to make that call. Hey, my grade's been up. You got sites, you got, hey, my grade's been up. Blah blah. Been studying hard, been working hard. I was wondering if I could drive your car for the test. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta talk like that. Where they were more like, man, I'm gonna drive one of the 20 cars that's in our parking lot. So it was a difference between the two. But the one thing that I learned in that was that I learned how to survive in that world. And when I say that world, it was because I felt like we lived two worlds. I felt like the world that I was from, the world that I lived in, I was the majority. I felt like that was the standard because that's all I knew. Then when I went to prep school, I was like, yo, it was a total different world. People didn't talk the same as I was used to. Some of the people didn't look the same. Like, some of the people, like some of the countries that they mentioned, I just never knew anything about. Some of the languages that they were able to speak, didn't even know existed. Like, so it was just like, wow, like it was a shock to me. So what I tried to do, I tried to learn some of the things. I tried to learn like some of the music. Like, okay, I might like this. I still don't like that, even though, hey, it's different. I just don't like it. I tried to taste some of the foods. Thank goodness I didn't get sick. Some of the foods I wouldn't even try because the way it looked. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. I'm just being honest. But I think that prepared me so much. And then it was time for me to go to Villanova. Well, at this time at Villanova, Villanova's $40,000 a year. So luckily I had a scholarship where I wouldn't have been at Nova, you know what I mean? But I look at that and I look at my career and where it has taken me, but it has only prepared me for this moment of even having my own gym. Because in this gym, you get people that come in this gym from all walks of life, and you're not judging them. They're coming from different situations. They're coming from, I would say, different situations. I would say they're coming from different parts of the world, and it's like they're expecting you to adjust and get the job done. So it has definitely